Well, I think it's a hard pill to swallow for every Dead by Daylight fan seeing the Stranger Things license leave the game. I know I personally have a lot of fond memories surrounding it. I'll never forget, I was driving home from Florida in the middle of June on the interstate, and I stopped in Kentucky to go to the washroom and stretch my legs. I checked my phone, and somebody had sent me a message that said, "Hey, look at what Netflix is talking about working with behavior. What do you think that's all about?" And for the rest of the drive home, all the way from Kentucky to Canada, all I could think about was, it has to be Stranger Things. What else can it be? And what was I going to do with this information? I was planning the video, and I wound up making the video about Stranger Things might be coming to Dead by Daylight. And then the next month, I had noticed that Matthew Cote and Patricia had followed the actors who play Steve and Nancy on Twitter. And Dave Richard was talking about amazing things that were happening once he returned from vacation. And that had me pinpoint that it was going to be Steve and Nancy who were the characters in our game. And from then on, King and I spent so long trying to find that golden toolbox in that Hawkins laboratory map. And he finally found it, and he showed it to me and shared it with me. And that was an amazing memory, amazing day with our friends celebrating finding that golden toolbox. And the devs knew we had such a hard time with it that they even put a clue in the map with the special room when the basement is sealed off, with that whiteboard with the molecular compound of Paulie Esther on the wall. And that, to this day, just amazes me and makes me feel honored. And yeah, I'm gonna be sad to see the map go. At least we get to keep the characters. But hey, you know, they always say, don't be sad that it's over, be glad that it happened. And I, for one, am glad that we had the opportunity to get our characters from Stranger Things in Dead by Daylight.
Wow, so Stranger Things is actually leaving Dead by Daylight. This is insane. When I first read that, I honestly didn't know what to think. It was something that caught me off guard. I really didn't think something like this could happen. I remember when I did my first interview with Matthew Cote in New York City Comic Con, we were celebrating Stranger Things coming into Dead by Daylight. It was a grand time. Everybody were cosplaying as Scoops Ahoy, Steve, and it was really awesome. We had something special. And I always said that this was honestly one of the best chapters in the game. It's a shame that it is now leaving the Dead by Daylight family. There's so many things that we actually wouldn't get. I've been looking forward to seeing some legendary skins as Hopper or Robin coming on in, and maybe some voice lines for these characters, and maybe eventually down the line having all of the cast coming into the game, but sadly those days wouldn't come. Regardless, it's been a fun time with Stranger Things. We had so many things happen with this. We had some great Demogorgon memes, we had the demo pliz, and so much more coming from this. It was honestly an amazing DLC. It's sad to see it go, but its memory will always live on. I remember doing my iconic little roar whenever I opened my mouth as the Demogorgon chasing down survivors. And those are some really grand times, so it's such a shame to see Stranger Things go. But with that being said, it's been an absolutely wonderful time having this in the game and having these laughs and experiences with this DLC. It's really hard to let it go, but as we all know, all good things must come to an end.
Hey everyone, it's Schmuckles. So, Stranger Things is leaving Dead by Daylight, and it's really sad to see this content go. I think my favorite part about Stranger Things in DBD was the attention to detail that Behavior gave to the characters, cosmetics, and map. I mean, Behavior really did a good job implementing this content into the Hall of Fame of Horror, and I think they really did justice with what we were given. One of the saddest things for me is that the map is leaving, because the high quality of the Stranger Things map allowed us to experience that universe at a level that we hadn't really seen before in video games. It's really a shame to see it go. I mean, we're talking about one of the biggest chapters that ever came to Dead by Daylight, but I still feel like we can assume that we're in good hands with Behavior. I'm sure Behavior's kind of bummed out, just like us, that it wasn't able to stay into the game. And I'm sure that Behavior's looking into other licenses and other avenues to bring in that same kind of magic into Dead by Daylight. Hopefully this is the last time that this happens. And honestly, if anybody from Netflix ends up watching this video, we would love to have Stranger Things back in Dead by Daylight. It had a very special place in our community here. Rather than being sad that Stranger Things is leaving DBD, we should be thankful that it ever came.
Hey all, I'm sure some of you may not recognize me, but my name is Rapid, otherwise known as RapidMain, and Dead Zone reached out to ask me if I wanted to be a part of this project, commemorating the departure of Stranger Things from Dead by Daylight. When Stranger Things was first announced for Dead by Daylight, I kind of thought it was cool, but I never watched the show. So, like any normal person, I binge watched all 3 seasons in a matter of 2 or 3 days. So I quickly took a liking to the entire series as a whole, and I instantly fell in love with Steve, hence why I switched from Claudette being my main to Steve being my main. And I liked him so much that I did a cosplay for the first time in my life, where, you know, it didn't turn out too bad. I think my resemblance to Steve definitely helps a little bit. But yeah, my favorite thing about the DLC is obviously Steve. Steve will always reign supreme in my heart. He's a very good-looking man. And while the Stranger Things chapter itself was not perfect, you know, no chapters really are, I think it was a breath of fresh air in Dead by Daylight. The map was super cool looking. All the perks are very viable and very fun. Personally, I think the dev team did an amazing job on this chapter, and I couldn't really ask for much else to be changed other than maybe a Scoops demo outfit or a Billy lifeguard skin for Steve or even a Robin skin for Nancy. And with the departure of the license, with the license not being renewed, it looks like that's not gonna ever happen, which is the only thing I would really change about it. I think the devs nowadays get way too much flack for any small change or any issue that comes up, and personally, to the devs, past, present, and future devs, thank you. This game means so much to me and so many other people, and your work on it has been absolutely fantastic. So thank you again for everything you do for this community. Anyways, sorry for rambling for so long. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Cheers.
Oh hey, it's me, NoPunchline. I finally escaped the entity's realm, and I ended up here of all places. Now, Stranger Things holds a very dear place in my heart. When I first found out that Stranger Things was going to be added to Dead by Daylight, I said, why? That doesn't make it. Sellouts. Sellouts! That doesn't make any sense at all. But, once I actually played the update, I was like, this thing, it doesn't work. They broke it again. But, they had Steve Harrington now. He didn't have the drip I do right now. He just had the basic green shirt, but that's besides the point. Stranger Things was probably one of the greatest additions to Dead by Daylight we ever had. Nobody expected it. Usually only think of horror movies, and I do think Stranger Things did open up the way for things like Silent Hill, Resident Evil, and who knows what's next. But you know what? It's kind of loud in here, so let's go somewhere better. Stranger Things on DVD. Wait, no, that's Back to the Future. Who cares? It'll happen one day. As you may or may not know, I am indeed a disgusting Steve main. I don't know if you could tell. I don't know if there's anything else that gives off that notion. My favorite thing about Stranger Things DLC was definitely the perks, the Demogorgon. I love Nancy's perks. I think Steve's perks were a cool idea, even though they kinda suck. Stranger Things was awesome. I love the DLC. I've gotta go now, but take care.
Hello everyone, I'm Luke.
And I'm Alfie, and we're the Dead Zone.
We'd like to thank everyone involved in this video. This video wouldn't have been possible without them, so we really appreciate you guys being a part of it. I wanted to create a video that would pay tribute to the Stranger Things chapter for the community to enjoy. And I'm so surprised with the support we've gotten for this project.
We'd also like to thank Behaviour for introducing us to Stranger Things. Because of the Stranger Things chapter coming to the game, we watched all 3 seasons to familiarise ourselves with the characters, and as a result of that, became massive fans of the show.
It didn't take long for me to enjoy one of the characters so much that I'd even consider them to be one of my mains, despite being loyal to Ace beforehand.
The Stranger Things chapter brought many great things. The possibility of having multiple survivors in the game, Demogorgon being the first monster killer, and allowing the possibility of more to come in the future.
It also brought Hawkins, which is now sadly leaving the game. Now some may say that they don't like the map, but it will always have a special place in my heart, as it was such a great map to play on as a Ghostface main.
It was also really fun scaring people with peekaboo eyes on Hawkins.
It's a shame that we will no longer be getting any skins for Steve and Nancy, so we can only dream of the day that we got Hopper and Robin as legendary skins.
The Stranger Things chapter was hands down my favourite chapter to come to the game, and hopefully this is going to be the last chapter to have to leave the game, because it would be sad to say goodbye to any more amazing licenses.
That's it from us. Now to end off this tribute video, we're going to be playing an animation to say goodbye to the Stranger Things DLC one last time.